Hi guys, welcome back to Living the Hardened Dream. In today's video, I wanted to just jump on here and give you um, the details behind our 2025 garden. And in this first part of this video, you're going to see the beginning stages. I had some little visitors come by to help this old grandma out with her raised garden beds. In a previous video, we talked about why we were doing raised garden beds versus an in-ground garden. But just as a recap, the grass, you see the grass right here, it is dangerous for a garden. I can't keep the grass out of the garden. There's not enough hoeing or enough time in the days to get it done to keep it from suffocating my garden plants. And so we just made an executive decision and decided that this year we were going to put in this raised garden bed. Um, Here I am. I had ordered three metal garden beds from, oh gosh, what is the name of it? Vevor. And I am right this minute second guessing my best decisions on getting these beds installed. I was able to install one bed between the little supervision team that I was working with. I don't know if they were supervising me or I was supervising them, but the cat fights and the grandma questions, and you get a question and then it's why. It's all in knowledge. I enjoyed myself. They were out having the best time. And they were enjoying working with grandma in the garden. And so those are the life moments that I'm here for, spending time with them. But putting this bed together was a different story. Now, I really didn't know what I was doing. I did not put this bed together correctly, and I had all intentions on going back out to fix it. And later on, I attempted to fix it, and it's just not going to get fixed for 2025. I've lost interest and I've lost time, but I wanted to show you what I was up against trying to get these beds together. It was just chaos between I had the last five grandbabies out of seven here trying to help me. They were trying to build the wood beds and I'm here trying to put the metal beds together. And we were just not the math was not mathing. But anyway, they had a good time. They all got dirty and they just enjoyed themselves. They said they were Bob the Builder. But yes, here I am just measuring the sides. I was trying to figure out which side was going to be, how can I put this together efficiently? And I'm sorry to say I did not put it together efficiently. And so I just hope I've yet to put dirt in these beds. So I'm just praying that, it's going to work out for the best and I'll be able to use it. Um, I may later on. It's just the first bed that I put together that I don't trust. And so maybe I'll leave it for the last to fill and figure out a better plan. But you notice that the wood frame that I'm working with, that's not going to be the end result because when I put the bed finally together, it's just not going to be enough space to accommodate the size garden that I want. Um, And so later on, you'll see where Papa H and our neighbor revamped the layout of the wood bed section. But here I am diffusing a fight. You noticed I just stepped away. So it was one thing after another. This little job should have took me about 30 minutes to an hour to get this one bed together. I think I was out there for 3 hours. I was out there long enough to be dehydrated and dizzy. I needed to come back in and get some water and switch up some things. But I'm gonna let y'all continue to watch this part and I'll swing back in when there's something else to tell. I just thought of something. Guys, I've been working on this garden since February, and this video should upload the fourth week of March. So, making the design, finding the lumber. We did use scrap lumber to build the wood beds. I just was not going to at this moment, I just couldn't invest. I've already put a big chunk of change in just doing the garden, getting the seeds, getting the things that we needed to get started on the front end, that I had to repurpose what I could to build these beds. And so you'll see them different colors. Some were stained and some were not. But as far as the cost of the wood bed, the only investment that we have is the nails, the screws too, and some of the support system is what we've got invested just in those wood beds. Now, I did order the middle beds from Vevor. There was a cost there, but I felt like for the price and the size of these beds, it was well worth the money. Like, I checked Lowe's, I checked Amazon, I checked several different companies that offered metal beds. One, they weren't deep enough. Two, they weren't long enough. And so for my garden space, these are the ones that I chose. Okay guys, you see here we've like doubled the space from um, the beginning of this video. We branched out a little bit further, and here he's, putting the second part, the the front facing part of the garden beds. We just had to double that because by the time I put those three metal beds in the center of this garden, there really was not going to be any extra. And in reality, in a second, I'm gonna swing the camera around. I only wanted a U shape, but the neighbor was so excited and he was just out there doing his thing that he made the adjacent wall from this wall, if that makes sense. So he was going to square it off instead of making me a U shape. And I got a call. My husband was like, where do you want the door or the entrance to this garden at? I said, what do you mean? So I walked out there and they had brought it together. They had figured it out. Here's the adjacent wall here. So that wasn't in the initial plan, but after looking at it, it was a blessing. It was a mistake that became a blessing. And so both of them worked really hard on this day trying to get these beds together. All right, guys. So I had a video planned. I've left my tripod in the house. I'm sorry. So I had a video planned. This was going to be our summer project. And it seems like every step of getting this process done, something was against me. And this is a project that I had been anxious to get done. And it's still not complete. I'll complete it next year. It's just a process. But I had filmed all the beginnings, the first board putting up, how the design was going to look. I had the neighbor come over and help. He built my wood beds. I placed my order with Vevor and I got the metal beds in. But along the way, I brought y'all along with me. Okay, so I find a company that can get me somewhat of enough compost to fill these beds. I measured them, placed my order, couldn't afford the order. And so the day I ordered it is the day that it came. So when I'm waiting on compost all day, and the guy came in the middle of the night to dump compost for us to fill these beds. So it was dark. I could not film him coming. Okay, the next day, I did not realize that we had an impending storm. So I told Papa H, it's sitting out here. It's not raining. What do we do? I don't want a tornado to come through or a gust of wind to cause me to lose my compost. So the fastest way we could get it done was to order a backhoe, rent a backhoe, have it delivered. I had to take off my day shift job, come out here, fill the beds with the landscape fabric. I didn't get it the way I wanted it. I wanted to do landscape fabric and then some cardboard so that I would have enough dirt to fill all my beds. No, that's not the way it happened. The way it happened is we put in the liner and he filled the beds. So now I don't have enough compost to fill my metal beds. But you know what? I'm not going to stress over it because I pray I'm here next year. That I have the opportunity next year to order from the same guy. I'll be saving all year long with my envelope system and we'll get the beds filled. In the meantime, there's nothing wrong with them. They're not bothering anybody. They're out here in the garden. But I just hate that they did not film every aspect of it. And so I'm fixing to turn the camera around and show you what we got. I feel like the worst vlogger in the world. But here is the what's left of the compost. I can fill one metal bed with what we have. That's the damage that was done using the backhoe. But I don't know if I can get a good area. See the damage that was done? This is what we have. I wanted to get this garden stained and sanded and stained. All the little posts that are sticking up, I wanted those cut off, level with the bed so it would look appropriate. It would be nice, just an oasis for me to come out here to. But this is what we got. These are the beds that I ordered. Again, they're from Vevor. But the interior part, I need to get the landscape fabric put down because we're not going to be able to get a lawnmower in there. That's a lot of area for a weed eater. We don't have a push mower. And so I just wanted to cap this video off. It's been in the making for months. And these are the raised garden beds that we installed. I done it the most cost-effective way. This is lumber that we had on the property already. We've not bought anything but the screws to screw them together. I've had the landscape fabric. Last summer I bought that. And so there is enough landscape fabric to cover this grassy area. But these are our beds. This is what we're going to be growing in this season. And see, if you notice this wall here, there are certain areas there's not enough support to hold all this compost. And so Papa H and them are going to have to come out here and reinforce these beds a little bit more. I plan on sanding them down and staining them a pretty color. I've not decided what color I'm going to do. But so far, this is what we have, and this is what we're going to work with this summer as far as planting our crops. Here is a good view of the Vevor bed. This is the only bed. No, I'm told you a story. This is the only bed that is installed correctly. This center structure here is the only I figured it out on the very last bed on how to put these beds together. It took me some time. I'm not sure of their measurements. I'm not sure. I can't give you any details on the beds as of yet because I've not used them. But I will come back at the end of the garden season. I'll probably use this compost that's left to fill this one bed. I'm gonna get it together, give it more structure in the center, and fill it. I'm gonna try to probably fill halfway with cardboard, and let's see how I can stretch what's left of our compost. I might be able to do 2 beds. You just never know. But whatever's left, we'll worry about that next summer. You can just see I've not put the supports in this bed. I've got to get out here. Maybe I'll get out here Saturday and do that. I've got to put the lining on these 2 beds so that nobody does not get cut by the metal here, the metal edge. We've got, like I said, we've got to get the landscape fabric down to cover this grass so that I don't have to worry about grass this summer. If Lowe's runs a sale on mulch, I may just mulch this area, do as much as I can without going broke. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in this area yet. I may just put 5-gallon buckets of the supplies that I normally would need. I could screw from the inside of the bucket up against that wood wall, and that would secure the 5-gallon buckets, and I can just like fill it full of I can't think of the word. I am so distraught this afternoon. I cannot think of any of the words that I want to use. Fertilizer. I may end up just doing that. Doing a 5-gallon bucket of fertilizer. Maybe my hand tools. They should be secure with a, you know, a good lid. But I wanted to bring you guys out here so I can finish up this video. I may peek back in if I have time to bring y'all along to stain these beds and get them pretty, cut down the pieces of wood here, like this piece of wood, the stub part of the wood, and get those cut down so it'll be level with the bed. I may do that to finish up this one video. But guys, this is what I've been dreaming of for about 2 or 3 years. This type of grass, I don't know what it is, but you cannot grow anything in it. The grass takes over all your hard work. But I just wanted you to come along with me. Let me brag on Papa H for a little bit, because if it hadn't been for him, I don't know what I'd have done trying to get this done. Him, my son, my neighbor, my son-in-law. If you can see that angle right there, we've got to do something there to get some support in that wood. Right there. We've got to get out here and get this debris cleaned up. But you can see the damage done to the yard from the backhoe. But look, for an old simple grandma, this is my dream garden. It's nothing fancy. It wasn't a lot of money. The compost itself was the most expensive thing that we invested. But this is just an old down south grandma and her project. But I'm gonna bring you guys along during the summer as we plan our plant starts. We're gonna see what I can get out of this compost. And if Oreo don't get off my bed. It has wood chips in it. It's black dirt. He said it had manure and all the things necessary. I hope it's gonna do me some justice this year. I sure did. We paid a lot of money to have this compost dumped. I had 14 yards dumped. And looking at what it took to fill these beds, I wish I'd have got 20 yards so I could at least got my raised beds done. I've got to figure out a spot for my strawberries. This part here was not supposed to be here, but I was not back here when these guys were building this part of it. It was supposed to stop right here, and it just been a U shape. But they went over to Call of Duty, and I'm not hating on them. That's just more space for me to grow and to enjoy. But I've got to cap something in order, and I'm thinking about capping this section in that corner so that I could probably put, ooh, you can't see, this corner right here, put a cap here and use that entire bed there for strawberries. I'm not sure yet. That's a lot of space for strawberries. I was going to put a cinder block bed here, because I have cinder blocks over here that we used one year as a garden. I was going to put it here and like as a beautiful entrance into the garden, but these guys went ahead and finished out this bed for me. And so I don't know. We own 4.5 acres, so I can put strawberries anywhere I want to put strawberries. But I just wanted to confine everything into this one spot. I don't know. We're going to see as the season goes by, and I'm going to bring you guys along with me. But as of right now, this is what we got. I'll bring you back. It'll probably be Saturday. Today is Tuesday for me. So it'll probably be Saturday before I can attempt to work on that bed, and we're going to get this compost put in that bed so we can get everything, we can see how far we can go. I may end up taking some dirt out of the beds because, as you can see, like right here, you may not be able to see it. This is a lower section, then this is a higher section. So I want to level out this dirt evenly. So we may have areas where we may have to sacrifice those beds to make sure these beds are completely full. But we'll see. But I'll see you when we start to work on these metal beds. Here I am putting the last two beds together on grandma duty. I'm going to end it here, guys. God bless.